The kitchen.
Wooden art has long been a reflection of nature itself. The warmth, texture, and organic lines of wood make it the perfect medium for artists looking to capture the beauty and intricacy of the natural world. In the realm of wooden sculpture, nature-inspired designs stand out for their emotional resonance, timeless appeal, and stunning craftsmanship. These aren't just decorations, they are artistic tributes to forests, animals, plants, landscapes, and all the natural wonders that surround us. Today, let's dive into the world of unique wooden art ideas focused entirely on sculptures inspired by nature. One of the most captivating approaches to nature-inspired wooden art is the carving of animal forms. From majestic forest creatures like deer and owls to more subtle representations such as foxes, rabbits, or birds in flight, wooden animal sculptures often evoke a sense of peace and connection. Artists use different wood grains and tones to highlight the natural fur, feathers, or physical form of each creature. A carved eagle in mid-flight with wings spread wide can symbolize freedom and strength. A wooden bear emerging from a forest scene can bring a rustic yet powerful presence into a room. Each animal carries its own symbolism, and when crafted from wood, that meaning becomes even more profound. These sculptures don't just depict animals, they bring their spirit into your space. Plant and botanical inspirations are another rich source for wooden art. Artists often carve leaves, vines, flowers, and tree branches in intricate detail. You'll find sculptures that look like ferns cascading down a wooden frame or roses blossoming from a chunk of solid oak. These pieces often highlight the natural beauty of the wood grain while echoing the delicate balance found in nature. A sculpture of a blossoming tree branch made entirely of walnut or maple can sit elegantly on a shelf or mantel, drawing admiration for both its simplicity and the craftsmanship behind it. Some creators go a step further and incorporate real botanical elements, such as preserved moss or dried flowers, blending them with carved wooden bases for a mixed media effect that blurs the line between sculpture and living art. One especially striking category of nature-inspired wooden sculpture involves landscapes and topographical features. Imagine a wooden sculpture that mimics a mountain range, complete with detailed ridges and valleys. Some artists use layered pieces of wood in varying shades and thicknesses to create a 3D topographic map that evokes hills, rivers, or canyons. These layered designs feel almost like you're viewing a miniature version of the Earth's surface, entire landscapes carved or stacked into a small but powerful form. A sculpture like this doesn't just represent a place, it invites you to feel connected to the Earth's terrain in a tangible, tactile way. Trees themselves are one of the most frequent and moving subjects for wooden sculptures, for obvious reasons. They symbolize strength, growth, and deep-rooted wisdom, and of course they are the very source of the material being sculpted. A common yet breathtaking motif is the tree of life, an ancient symbol often carved into circular plaques or made into freestanding sculptures. The branches may swirl upward in an almost abstract way, while the roots reach downward, grounding the piece in meaning. Some designs even have the tree flowing across an entire wooden panel, telling a story through its bends, twists, and branches. These types of sculptures work beautifully in any home as a centerpiece or conversation starter. Some artists take the concept of nature a step further by incorporating movement and flowing form into their sculptures. These pieces mimic the natural movement of water, wind, or growing plants. A sculpture might feature wave-like curves carved out of soft pine or maple, mimicking ocean tides. Another might swirl upward like a tornado or a gust of wind sweeping through leaves. These flowing designs often use the natural flexibility and direction of the wood grain to enhance the feeling of motion. The result is a piece that feels alive, full of energy yet serene. Driftwood is a particularly fascinating material in the world of nature-inspired wooden sculptures. These sculptures use naturally weathered and aged wood collected from rivers, lakes, or coastal areas. Driftwood already bears the mark of nature, with unique curves, textures, and color variations. Artists often let the shape of the wood dictate the design, whether it becomes the base of a bird in flight, the body of a sea creature, or the sweeping branches of an abstract tree. Driftwood sculptures celebrate nature in its rawest form, where the artist simply guides what nature has already begun. There's also a growing trend in combining wood with other natural materials like stone, sand, and resin, to enhance the natural inspiration. A sculpture may feature a wooden riverbed filled with blue resin to resemble flowing water, or tiny stones embedded in carved wooden soil. These mixed material sculptures bring even more depth and contrast, creating a more immersive natural scene. The blending of textures, from smooth polished wood to coarse sand, adds richness to the piece and helps communicate different elements of the environment. In some cases, sculptures don't just depict nature, they become functional pieces of decor. Think of a large wooden leaf sculpture that doubles as a shelf, or a wooden sculpture of vines that acts as a coat rack or wall art. These designs bring nature indoors in a way that's both artistic and useful. They're subtle yet striking, perfect for those who want their home decor to make a quiet but powerful statement. Each time you reach for your keys or hang up your jacket, you're interacting with art, and with a small piece of nature. One incredibly poetic category of wooden sculpture involves birds and birdhouses. Delicately carved birds perched on wooden branches or flying in groups across a panel bring grace and movement into a room. Some artists carve out entire flocks mid-flight, each bird uniquely posed, capturing a moment of nature frozen in time. Other sculptures depict birds nesting in stylized trees, often with additional carved elements like clouds or sunbursts to complete the natural scene. These bird-themed sculptures bring joy, hope, and a sense of harmony to indoor spaces. Then there are abstract nature-inspired sculptures, pieces that don't represent any one element but instead capture the feeling of being outdoors. These might include flowing wooden spirals, stacked geometric forms that hint at rock formations, or curved panels that resemble leaves or petals without directly depicting them. The abstract style allows artists to interpret nature in new and unexpected ways, and for the viewer, it creates space for imagination. These sculptures often become focal points in modern or minimalist homes, where the simplicity of design allows the natural material to shine. Some creators take it a step further by building entire wall installations out of wood, using layered panels to create expansive natural scenes. These might include rolling hills, clusters of trees, ocean waves, or stylized mountain silhouettes. Each element is hand-carved, and when assembled, the full composition transforms an empty wall into a living landscape. It's like having a window into nature even if you live in the middle of the city. The beauty of these installations is that they're both large-scale and deeply personal, often custom to the natural world.
The kitchen.
One final category worth mentioning is storytelling through sculpture. In the world of woodwork, some of the most captivating pieces aren't just admired for their beauty or complexity, they're valued for the stories they tell. These wooden sculptures go beyond mere decoration. They are narrative expressions, capturing the soul of nature and translating it into form, texture, and movement. Artists who work in this realm often use their craft to weave tales of the natural world, scenes of woodland creatures nestled in a forest, delicate interpretations of the changing seasons, or even imaginative renditions of mythological forces like the wind, the sun, and the ocean. A single sculpture might start with a simple tree trunk and unfurl into an entire world carved into the wood: birds in mid-flight, leaves dancing in an invisible breeze, animals curled beneath the roots, and water trickling down carved rivers. The textures vary across the piece: smooth ripples for water, sharp angles for rocky outcrops, and fine etchings for fur and feathers. The storytelling isn't always literal. Sometimes it's abstract, an arrangement of flowing shapes that hint at growth, movement, and transformation. But no matter the style, the message is always deeply rooted in our connection to the world around us. These works of art often feel more like meditations than objects. They encourage you to pause, to look closer, to interpret. The artist's hands have worked slowly and intentionally, revealing the narrative hidden within the grain. The result is a piece that resonates not just with the eye, but with memory, imagination, and emotion. It might remind you of a walk in the woods, a quiet morning by a lake, or a moment of awe under a vast, starlit sky. This is the power of nature-inspired wooden sculpture. It reconnects us to the world we so often rush past. In every case, these sculptures are a celebration of life itself. They breathe life into indoor spaces by reflecting the organic forms and rhythms found outside, in forests, in oceans, in mountains and fields. And because they are crafted from wood, they carry within them the legacy of the trees they came from. Each knot and swirl in the grain tells its own mini-story. Each curve speaks of growth and time. When those natural features are paired with human craftsmanship, something truly unique is born. And what makes these pieces even more special is their one-of-a-kind nature. No two sculptures are ever exactly the same because no two pieces of wood are the same. The grain might twist differently. The color might shift with the light. One sculpture might feature a patch of bark left intact, while another plays with negative space, carving light and shadow into the form. This individuality adds to their charm, each piece a singular chapter in the long story of nature and art coming together. When you bring one of these storytelling sculptures into your home, you're doing more than just decorating. You're inviting a piece of the wild indoors. You're preserving a moment of artistic interpretation and natural beauty, frozen in time, yet endlessly alive. These wooden artworks don't fade into the background. They stand out. They start conversations. They invite reflection. And they remind us, even in a modern world of metal and glass and plastic, that nature still speaks, still moves us, and still holds a central place in our hearts. So whether it's a finely detailed wildlife scene or an abstract exploration of wind and wave, these sculptures are living stories. They bring together imagination and environment, craftsmanship and emotion. And in doing so they give us something rare, a way to feel connected, grounded and inspired all at once.